What's up, everybody? McFlurry here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the final film of the MonsterVerse. Yeah, the final film of the MonsterVerse, which is turns of the cinematic universe, is not the actual final movie. Of course, there's going to be more, and I do know that there's going to be more because there ain't no way they're going to end it. That's controversial with the whole Toho license thing. Eh, I doubt it because it's just like they have so much in store. This is a cinematic universe after all, so I just for some reason doubt it that they're gonna have it end this early, and I don't think it's gonna end at all because there's already another movie in production. A Kong sequel. So yeah, and judging by I say that, you already know what it is. That is, of course, my favorite film in the MonsterVerse, my favorite King Kong and Godzilla movie, at least at the moment, because I never rewatched a lot of the movies, but aka my favorite versus movie. That's Godzilla versus Kong. I might have to say a lot about this movie. Alright, so here we go. Godzilla versus Kong. This is the Blu-ray DVD plus this is the Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital code combat pack. If you can see combo pack, I'm sorry. This is the Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital code combo pack. There's the back, spine, and this is a slipcover. My only slipcover in the MonsterVerse, and my history with this movie, and I really enjoyed King of the Monsters. You already know that. Slipcover, and this looks the same, of course. So what? The thing is, I saw this that they were gonna make this, and I was on at the time. I was on Team Godzilla because you know it's like the situation with Kong Skull Island because this was the only movie I ever seen King Kong in this MonsterVerse, and I really liked the King Kong in that movie. I like King Kong in that universe at the time, in this universe, but we never really saw like that much of an emotional side, that much good of his character. Yeah, it did try to make him feel sympathetical, but yeah, I just never really felt it with Peter Jackson's King Kong. I felt that a lot more with dozens of times more with Peter Jackson's King Kong, but I never felt it with that. I never felt it with this King Kong. But you know, and plus, the so I was on Team Godzilla. Plus, it was more like the childhood Godzilla I knew, and King Kong. It's King Kong, but wasn't the childhood King Kong I know. But then this is the childhood King Kong I know fighting against the childhood Godzilla I know. If you're confusing why I'm saying that, because this is in my mind like the regular characters fighting. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Now, to me, if you watch my reviews, to me, I said, like, these felt like different versions of the characters, but they didn't really feel like the same characters. Felt like different characters, but like more like a different version. It didn't feel like the King Kong fighting the Godzilla. So, yeah, there's that. But now, in my opinion, they've done them with respect, and now it just feels like it does not feel like two different versions of the characters. No, no, no. To me, it feels like the characters fighting each other, the actual characters, like the regular versions fighting each other. It doesn't feel like a different version. You know, it feels like the King Kong fighting the Godzilla, and I was on board with this movie, kind of following it, and, you know, got delayed plenty of times. But hey, the delays, the wait was all worth it for this movie. So worth it. So worth the wait. And yeah, what can I say about this film? Alright, so, or even more of my history on this movie. This is the, as I already mentioned, Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital code combo pack, whatever, yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. It's it's the Blu-ray copy, but it comes with the DVD, a DVD copy, and the digital code. All right, major youth up there. So there it is. Got this cool things for sale, and on the back, I'm not going to show you the code, but there's a cool picture there. Here is the DVD copy, and here is the Blu-ray copy. Now, I watched this film just not long ago, probably like a good couple days ago, and this is fresh in my mind. So there's the Blu-ray there. Now, here's the thing. Like, I found this at Walmart. I got it with mom. My mom got it for me at Walmart. I was there, and there was like this cool stand thing, where it's like a cardboard thing of like. It's one of those things where they're promoting a new blockbuster movie, and that's very popular, and they do like a cardboard thing where you see the multiple copies there, Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD, DVD copy, and the difference with those, that the DVD copy, it basically just shows the same poster we saw already, Godzilla doing the Jaws thing, and then Kong standing in the city doing his Kong Skull Island poster pose, DVD cover pose like this, looking out at Godzilla. Basically the same thing we saw long while back. And 4K Ultra HD is basically a shot for shot of the shot in the movie where we all know Godzilla's roaring down at Kong, Kong's looking up at Godzilla, roaring back at him, And the back is different too on the DVD and 4K Ultra HD. They surprisingly have the same exact back picture. This one is the only one that's different. But however, the other ones is they're actually fighting at night, and Kong's jumping at Godzilla sort of, and Godzilla's lunging towards him, and Kong's kind of grabbing him with his arm. So yeah. Fun fact, this description of the film, I think, is the same thing as like what we saw in the story leaks that used to be there. So yeah, go ahead and pause if you want to read it. So yeah, here it is. And I do like the posters. They're cool, and I kind of do like how they combine not this one, but in the DVD copy, they do kind of put the thing where they kind of combine Kong's color theme, only instead of like this type of orange, like you see here, it's more like a reddish orange. And with the Godzilla thing, it's more like a turquoise green color, more of a turquoise, I would say. Yeah, turquoise. So interesting how they did it. And now think about it, that's really cool. In a way, they did the same thing, but a little different, in which I like that. Really cool. Alright, so I don't want the history with this movie, but I'll tell you one more thing. There is some contents to this stuff. There is so much things cut out of this movie. Adam Wingard, the director, explains that there could have been enough footage for a 5-hour release. A 5-hour cut of the movie. And we missed that much. with the same thing with Michael Dougherty on Godzilla King of the Monsters. He said it would have been King of the Monsters, it would have been 3 hours long, but this film would have been a whopping 5 hours long. And here it's 113 minutes, which is like, from what I remember, 153 minutes. Not 100. What am I saying? 100. Sorry, 1 hour and 53 or 54 minutes, and that's including the credits. So it's kind of the shortest movie of the MonsterVerse, which is kind of hilarious. And it's supposed to be like the biggest one. King Kong fighting Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong. But then it's like the shortest movie. And it features Mecha Goji in here. Spoiler alert. Which, by the way, it's not really a spoiler, because even the creators themselves of this film spoil way too much. And yeah, they spoiled and gave away way too much, which is a problem. So yeah, the story, alright. Let's see if I can do better this time. Probably just as cringy. To me, it's a little, yeah. Alright. Alright, so it's actually taking place in the future. It's this, despite this being released 2021, it's the storyline, the plot itself takes place in 2024. So that's why when you look at the movie, you see this kind of advanced city look to it. There's this advanced organization, I believe, called Apex, advanced technology. You see this advanced technology, vehicles, the Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle. That's why you see all of that in here. And that's why you don't see him, but Mechagodzilla's here. And they're having, and what do you know, Kong is stuck on a island. He's not really stuck on an island, but he's in, like, he's on Skull Island. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Alright. If you do not want to know spoiler alerts, click off this video and try to go watch the movie yourself. I think it's on HBO Max. So you're good if you have it. So Kong is on a Skull Island. They make it look all normal. Got the music playing in the background. And there's this deaf girl named Gia, which she doesn't speak, but she does sign language and that stuff. She has a relationship with Kong. And fun fact, this is actually a thing that was supposed to be in the original sequel to King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962. Yeah, called the continuation of King Kong vs. Godzilla, but it was like a baby, not like not like kiddish, like not like kid like Gia in this movie, but more like a baby, like a literal child. And they kind of, maybe they could have taken that from that inspiration from that. Like, all right, so she has a plushie. I think she makes it for Kong, and then Kong's like, "What do we have here?" And then he noticed something sus and fishy. And fun fact, the whole intro with Kong waking up, scratching his bum, yawning, taking a shower in a waterfall, him yawning, that stuff while waking up. I can agree with meme dudes and gals that that looks like something straight from Shrek. I don't know if Adam Wingard intended that to be a reference, but I don't know. I do not know what's up with that. Um, what else? Yeah, Kong noticed something's up, something's fishy, something suspicious, and he makes like a tool, like a spear from a tree, and then he throws at the sky, and then it goes like a thing, like a, and then it's actually a fake Skull Island. Kong roars in disbelief and probably enraged. He cries out. Gia looks sad for him. She feels very bad for him. He's scared, and it's a fake Skull Island. Now, one of the cut things they really left out and they really messed up on is that they did not explain in the movie how did that happen. They do explain later on, but there was a thunderstorm, that terrible thunderstorm that hit Gia's backstory in Kong, between her and Kong. Like a terrible thunderstorm hit Skull Island, and and Gia's parents unfortunately passed from the thunderstorm. They died. A lot of wiped out the native people. Gia is the only last of her kind, and it's kind of interesting and sympathetical and relatable because Kong's the last of his kind, and so is Gia the last of her native tribe. So interesting thing. I like that. Makes them relatable. Makes my opinion makes their relationship stronger, more interesting, more emotional, and And apparently, if you're wondering, what the heck, a thunderstorm? You mean a thunderstorm in Kong Skull Island? There was already a bad thunderstorm there, but apparently there's these two prequel comics released for the movie. One for Godzilla's perspective and one for Kong's perspective. The one for Godzilla is Godzilla Dominion, and the one for Kong is Kingdom Kong. Which I kind of like that title there because it's like Kingdom Kong. I don't know why I noticed that right now, but take out the dumb part, DOM, and then it's King Kong. I just noticed that right there. I was like, haha, interesting. That's cool. And then it depicts of like, the MonsterVerse has this thing where they have these prequels, but they're in the form of comic books. I think Kong Skull Island had a one that was a sequel, but it did tell the backstory of Kong before the events of Kong Skull Island take place. There was one for Godzilla 2014 called Godzilla Awakening, one for Godzilla King of the Monsters called Godzilla Aftershock. The Kong Skull Island one was Kong Skull Island: The Birth of Kong. And you have this one, Godzilla Dominion Kingdom Kong. And basically the backstory is that there is this hostile evil kaiju titan, like his name is Kamazots. He's a bat titan and that stuff. He's a bat kaiju. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy kaiju, and Kong took him out in the last one. But then he has the weather thing ability, almost like King Ghidorah in a way. It's way more nerfed, but it's still very strong enough, and it was strong enough to make the thunderstorms cover over Skull Island. And now Skull Island is technically probably like 50, like a good 60 to 80% of it is destroyed. So, yeah. And then you get the credits montage. And apparently, according to King Kong 1900, they stole some things from websites and like a fan art of King Kong 2005. That's why you see the image of that Kong looking kaiju in that like type of drawing. That's why you notice it kind of looks fan artish, and it's like Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005 because that's fan art. That is fan art. And I'm like, wow, I did not know that. Like, alright, weird. It's an opening montage, and then you get the opening sequence, shows the title. And I like this cool thing. By the way, it shows this thing on all the Titans says defeated, defeated, defeated. From what I heard, that's because all the other Titans are in dormant stages. They're resting. They're out of energy and stamina. And basically, they all submitted to Godzilla at the end of King of the Monsters, and you would see where they have gone in Godzilla Dominion, at least a few or a couple of them, from what I remember hearing. And it shows that they're all defeated. That's because them submitted, or they either died, or they actually got defeated by Godzilla or other monsters. And then you show flashbacks of 2014, King of the Monsters, and Skull Island, Kong Skull Island. And then it's like a bracket thing. It's like a tourney thing where it shows like defeated, and then it shows Kong and Godzilla as the last one standing, like the championship match, King Kong versus Godzilla, the final championship match. So I like that. That was cool, and the bum 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 bum, like the music that plays there. Great soundtrack, by the way. The music that plays there, it reminds me of when King Kong jumps in that fight scene in Peter Jackson's King Kong, the fight against the V-Rexes. That bum 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 bum. Bum. I don't know why it does, but I'm sorry if that's cringe-inducing. All right, and then they're trying to get Kong to this place called the Hollow Earth. Well, let's go with the Kong story first. They're trying to get Kong to this place called the Hollow Earth, and you'll think the Hollow Earth is this place. This place called the, you think it's just the Hollow Earth, it's just a bunch of caves and tunnels, like, but then you you notice it's like a whole another different realm, a whole another different world, and like it's like wow, and they're trying to get him to this place to as his true home, I believe, and plus in a way they're trying to use, from what I heard from other people who tell the story, they're kind of trying to use Kong to stop Godzilla because, of course, I have to say the classic lines: "We need Kong. The world needs him. Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people, and we do not know why." Those are the most repeated. Those two lines of the movie became memes. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Maybe you kept hearing it everywhere. Like that line about Godzilla, that line about Kong. Alright, so uh and yeah, this kind of leads into the Godzilla story where Godzilla out of nowhere, he's peed off, he's going, well, normally you use ape poop, but I guess lizard poop, going lizard poop is the best option. Whatever. Sorry, cringy. I think that was kind of cringy, but or whatever with that. Um so Godzilla's attacking people, he's attacking cities, he's specifically targeting this base, this organization called Apex, which I already said, and turns out, spoiler, they're alright, so basically, one of the guys involved is Dr. Serizawa's son, Ren Serizawa. Spoiler, who does not have a lot to do in this movie. Kind of wasted. But it's cool that he's there, and he's there to say the classic name of Godzilla, like he says Godzilla here and there. So that's cool. It's still cool that they at least got him there. At least, at least they don't do the cheap shot thing where he's in the novel only. Which, spoiler, and speaking in the novel, from what I heard, Alan Jonah, the human villain from King of the Monsters, makes an interesting hidden cameo appearance in this movie where he meets up with the guy named Walter Simmons. And he has a daughter named Maya Simmons. It just so happens she's going to Team Kong. She's going with them to investigate the Hollow Earth, basically. And spoiler, sorry, they're the bad guys. And turns out, we'll get to that crazy, insane part later. So there's this character named Bernie, I believe, and he's like a comic relief character, and I didn't mind him. I thought he was funny. My opinion. A lot of people don't like him. Some people like him, but I liked him. I thought he was funny. I don't get what was up with the whole bleach thing, but so he's kind of like a news reporter. I don't know, but he's like an investigator. He's a conspiracy theorist, I believe, and he's trying to investigate because he kind of thinks something's fishy's going on, and Godzilla's attacking and destroying stuff. Godzilla's targeting this. Godzilla's targeting Apex for a specific reason. He is targeting those bases for a certain reason. Bernie sees this in Godzilla's attacking in Florida, I believe. Then Godzilla wreaks havoc. A cool a cool thing. He watched basically this scene right here where he's there, and then he goes on a rampage, shoots his atomic breath, goes beast mode, and then destroys the Apex base, I believe. Walter Simmons and Ren Sarazawa escapes. Ren Sarazawa makes this look at Godzilla. Like, in the novel, it's supposed to be more than that, but they rushed in the dang movie. But what they're trying to do there is that they're Bernie sees this thing. It's like a red glowing thing, and then Madison Russell, the daughter of Mark Russell, she has like a gets into an argument with her dad because she's seeing it on the update and news on Godzilla going rogue like this, and she's a conspiracy theorist too, and she's trying to discover like what's going on, and Mark Russell's just kind of convince her like like oh like animals, people can change and that stuff. Like, well, sorry. Sorry, that was mixed there. Like, people, animals can change and that stuff. And obviously, there's more to that. And she gets her friend. She investigates a bit more, I believe. And she gets her friend, which is the kid from Deadpool. The actor, at least, plays her friend. A lot of people disliked him a lot. I don't know what was up with the big deal with it. I didn't mind him, to be honest. I didn't really mind him at all. He was just there. Um, he did manage to be a big help at points out of nowhere. So I kind of like this scene where, unfortunately, Bernie had a wife and she passed away, and they meet up with Bernie, who there's just a comedy scene where he's trying to make it sound like he's not actually Bernie, and then they have a meeting scene, and then Madison Russell says she walks away, says we're breaking in, and then her friend is like, "Yeah, wait, what?" I thought that scene was funny. And then, you know, Gia has the psychic connection. Going back to the Kong story, Gia has the psychic connection with Kong. There's this Dr. Eileen Andrews, I believe her name is. Yeah, Dr. Eileen Andrews. Yeah, I cannot believe I remembered her name right there. Played by Rebecca Hall. And I forgot the male character's name, but he's played by this guy named Alexander Skarsgård, I believe. So Alexander Skarsgård's character. So they're like having a meeting thing. She explains the backstory about Gia, and she makes a promise to protect her. She basically adopts her in a way, and now she has a relationship with her. She's like becomes a mother to her basically, and she's taking care of her. And this is Team Kong, and Gia has a psychic connection with Kong, and Kong learns sign language. There you go, there. And then we get to the big battle. At least not the big battle, but the big battle on the aircraft carrier. These two fight on the aircraft carrier. A dang aircraft carrier. Not only thinking this movie would be a reality again, but it has to come back. The first fight with them fighting on an aircraft carrier. Like, what the actual heck is this? This is insane. So, obviously, it would collapse because of their weight. But, yeah, remember, this, in terms of this movie's storyline, this is the future, so they guess they maybe have some type of safety thing, whatever, movie logic. There's a screw up in this in 2014 and in here. In 2014, they make it look like his back is the size of those aircraft carriers, but now here he's able to walk on him like he shrinked. That was because of the whole size thing, showing it from his perspectives to make Godzilla look big in the 2014 movie. It's a size inconsistency. It doesn't mean Godzilla's actually that big, just a camera angle thing. So yeah, there's that. And what else to say? You get your big battle. They fight back and forth. And surprisingly, underwater, Kong lasts longer than you think. He doesn't get dominated like King Ghidorah. But from what I heard, spoiler, in these scenes, Godzilla's just kind of toying and playing with Kong, sort of. He's not even trying his best. But there are scenes where he's actually is trying, like that scene where he just goes, like, slaps him in the face. I feel like that. It's kind of funny but cool. Kong launches a good punch at Godzilla. Godzilla counters attacks by slapping him in the face. And then Kong just completely falls on his back. Like, then Kong shoulder bashes him off the thing. We get the cool money making shot where Kong leaps off of the aircraft carrier, dodging Godzilla's atomic breath. And it basically blows the whole King of the Monsters power level scene out of the water, where it goes even further up into the air. Not only that, it's bigger. You could see Kong's like how big the atomic breath was right here. And Kongzilla's shape is like right here. That's how big and strong that was. And then Kong almost dies, but he gets saved by the humans, which makes sense because Kong has these limited platforms, he isn't gonna, plus it's in the water, Godzilla's territory, so it would make sense that they would have to save him. And hey, it's not the big fight yet. It's not the final battle between these two, at least. Um, but there's a cool scene where Kong's leaping from aircraft carrier to aircraft carrier to get to Godzilla, and he throws like a jet at him. And it's kind of a little comical in my opinion, but it's super bad, but it's cool seeing him leap from aircraft carrier to aircraft carrier. What else? Oh yeah, there's this funny scene in the same exact scene where, well, Godzilla actually does show up and wreck some stuff. He does wreck an aircraft carrier. He swats jets out of the sky with his tail. Did it last time with his hands, but this time he did it with his tail. And he uses his spikes to slice through another aircraft carrier. Yeah, this is old school Godzilla we're talking about here. There's a funny scene where Maya Simmons says, dump the monkeys, he's coming for us." And Rebecca Hall says, "What? How about we throw you off instead?" I don't know why I thought that was funny. In my opinion, that was hilarious. So yeah, they get to the Hollow Earth, and then the fight happens. Kong's beaten up. They get to the Hollow Earth, and Kong doesn't know. They get to Antarctica, which is where King Ghidorah fought Godzilla at, and King Ghidorah first awakened in King of the Monsters. And then they're fighting here. They're not fighting here, but they get. Sorry, I don't know what was it. I don't know what I was talking about there. They get Kong there, and then and then they lead him. They use Gia to tell him to, that family might be there, and that was enough to convince him to go. You know, and he walks like a normal gorilla in this movie, which is cool. Homage to Peter Jackson's King Kong, and then he makes it to Hollow Earth, and it's like this whole anti-gravity situation, this crazy situation. Like Kong, like does the monkey flip. Sorry, that was cringy, but I did the best I can. Another meme, but he he, he falls to the Hollow Earth, and then they land there safely, barely. And then he fights against the war bats, which are like these hybrids between dragons and snakes and bats, sort of. Like, they're like a hybrid between a bat and a snake, but they kind of look like a different type of species of dragon, sort of. To me, at least. Which is kind of interesting. Interesting, cool new creature. Kong, of course. Kong needs help again, and I just kind of find that I just kind of found that save unnecessary. Like, they could have been cooler. They showed Kong get out of there himself. Against Godzilla makes sense to me, but against the Warbats, like, come on. It's okay. It shows that Kong can trust the humans in a way, so yeah. Then Kong literally beats the heck out of the Warbat. He swings one by his tail and knocks it into the other one. He slams one on top of a stone, a sharp stone, and then impales its head. And then he literally decapitates a Warbat with his bare fist, and then he eats the guts from the head. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is Peter Jackson's level of goriness and brutalness. Maya Simmons said, well, that's gross. And my sister watching the movie said, gross, it's awesome. Alright, so they make it there to the thing, um, like something in the Godzilla story. Yeah, they're investigating their the conspiracy theorist group, Team Godzilla, basically, of this movie. They make it there, they get trapped, and they're like, what's Apex doing with skull crawlers? They mention something about them, you know, something like things about them. And it says like level 33 on the elevator. I'm like, haha, nice King Kong reference. Um, so, and they're like heading all the way over there and to Hong Kong. And then, what do you know? They discover, and then they find Mechagodzilla. They find Mechagodzilla there, and turns out he's built by Apex. So there you go. And there's a cool scene where Mechagodzilla does the light thing. It makes the same sound as almost similar sound to like the Orca, I believe. Almost the same sound as the Orca, only slightly different. And then Godzilla's like makes an angry look on his face, and then he dives underwater to swim. So he senses it. He swims really super fast over there. He ends up in Hong Kong. Goes Godzilla 1954 style, rampaging, but don't not on the people in the city. He's hunting down Apex. Going to the Apex base where Mechagodzilla is. Mechagodzilla literally slaughters a Skullcrawler in half. Goriest part of the dang movie, along with the Warbat kill. Um, it's insane. The Skullcrawler's like test, and they used it at 40% power. They're testing the power. King Godzilla gets caught. I know I'm going very fast here, but I want to talk about other stuff, but this is going on way too long now. So they get there, then they get caught, and then they're getting ready to be held hostage. Then this happens later, but I'll get out of the way now. Actually, no, let's screw it. Save it for later because it's not gonna make any sense. It's gonna make it confusing even more. And then they get there. Then Team Kong gets to the place where they need to go. Kong's temple, I believe, and then he sits on the throne and he gets the battle axe, a dang battle axe, which looks like it was made from Godzilla's ancestors, like made from Kong's, but used Godzilla's spikes, one of Godzilla's ancestors' spikes, to make the axe, which is pretty bad but and cool. What else? Yeah, they found out that my Simmons is like, all right, what the heck do we came here for? There's nothing here. Then Kong axe glows. He's smart enough to put it into something, and then he puts it to like a shape that looks like the axe, and then he puts it in there, and then it unlocks the power of something of the axe, I believe, and then this triggers Godzilla to stop what he's doing, and then he does a supercharged atomic breath, which by the way reminds me of those scenes in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, where he looks up, does a supercharged atomic breath to blast it into the black hole, or when he's getting ready to blast a meteor with his atomic breath in Godzilla Final Wars. I feel deja vu when watching that scene. And then he does a supercharged atomic breath, does like a shovel thing. He shoots his atomic breath into the center of the dang earth, and then he tries to get there, and then like he tries to get his atomic breath down there. He's digging there, and then Maya Simmons and her team betrays I believe Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård's character and Gia, and then they're like getting ready to shoot them, but then Kong does like a roar at them, and then these weird looking bird creatures appear, and then they attack, and then Kong kind of fighting them. They attack and kill a few people, and yeah. Uh, what else? Then Godzilla's atomic breath makes it down there and almost blows up everybody, and then for some reason Mark Russell's character gets there along with Monarch, and then they're there witnessing the rampage of Godzilla and all this craziness going on. It is insane. That's why I'm like this and this and that and this. This movie is a roller coaster ride. It's a roller coaster ride at Universal Studios. That's what this movie is, sort of. It's not just a versus. It's being a versus movie, but it's also a Universal Studios ride, sort of. And uh, what else? Um, yeah, and then they shoot. Maya Simmons and her team makes a big mistake. They shoot at Kong, and then Kong squishes the vehicle that they're in, basically kills them. And like, wow, that unexpected. I thought she was gonna be just a good guy character, just there. And then maybe she'll learn her lesson. But nope, she's a bad guy. She dies, along with her team. And then Team Kong, the survivors, they get into Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle. They go down the same hole, which Kong badly uses his axe to go down there. Right? And they have like this cool roar off from the Hollow Earth. Kong and Godzilla, like they sense each other. Kong makes it there. You got your big battle, and then the final battle between these two in Hong Kong. Then they fight, and then like it's a very fun fight. Epic, it's great, it's cool, and then despite it being a little short compared to the other fights, it still is good. It still is a great fight, and hey, it's worth it. It's still worth it. It's short but sweet. I know it's short, but you won't even. It's such a good fight, it would just make you ignore that problem. You got the Hong Kong colors in there, great stuff, and you get to the whole scene where it does a cutaway, unfortunately, but it cuts away to the scene where they meet up with Walter Simmons' character, the Walter Simmons character, and then he explains about his plan, and he's like, yeah, and I alone have gave humanity a chance against the Titans. I don't know why I like these lines. I know when I present them, it may kind of sound cheesy, but oh well. And then the other one, which he says, when Godzilla was first revealed to the world, something like that. And then they're talking about Mechagodzilla, and these two are fighting. Godzilla goes beast mode on Kong, beats him brutally. He almost dies, and then they have the classic scene where they look at each other. They give each other sort of disgustful, hateful stares, like they're disgusted of each other. Like Godzilla gives him that pathetic look, and Kong gives him that death stare, and then they both have the roar off, and Godzilla's like, submit, and then Kong's like, no, and then Godzilla just leaves him. He just leaves him. Godzilla walks off as the winner. Spoiler alert. Very fitting since King Kong won the last time in 1962. So yes, I still say Godzilla wins because he almost killed Kong. Kong was gonna die anyway, he and then Godzilla beat Kong. He knocked him down to the ground, and then he let him go. But then, unfortunately, Kong gets weakened by his wounds, and then he collapses, gets knocked out, and then later on, his heart is giving out, and unfortunately, he's gonna die. But then, Mechagodzilla, they do like the whole Kiryu storyline thing from the Kiryu Saga Godzilla series. Godzilla fighting against Kiryu, and then the soul of King Ghidorah takes over Mechagodzilla, and then he goes berserk. He kills Walter Simmons, destroys most of Apex. He Ren Serizawa, who is kind of controlling Mechagodzilla, sort of. His brain gets fried, and then he breaks out of the base, destroys it, and then Godzilla gives him this hateful stare, and then Mechagodzilla looks at Mechagodzilla. Sorry, what am I saying? All right, Mechagodzilla looks at Godzilla. He kind of does like a laugh, like a and then Godzilla roars, and then they both charge at each other, and that was cool. And then Mechagodzilla beats the living poop out of Goji badly. Not like to critical levels like King Ghidorah, but ooh, like a street fight type thing. He's throwing him around like a rag doll. He's dodging his attacks. He's boxing him out, punching him in the face, slamming his head into buildings. It's insane. He's grabbing him, punching him in the face. Yeah. And then he does like a shoulder bash thing like Kong with his jets, and then he knocks Godzilla onto a building, I believe. Yeah, insane. And then Team Kong used the Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle to boost up Kong's heart, so he's back to normal again. They kind of have this touching moment where it's almost like this emotional moment where it looks like Kong's gonna die, but then they save him. Kong and Gia have this emotional moment where they're like Gia is trying to convince Godzilla is not the bad guy here. He's not the enemy. Mechagodzilla's the enemy. And then he gets convinced, and then he does like a cool bad butt thing where he does a snarl. He gets back up. He fixes his dislocated arm, which Godzilla broke. He fixes it, and then he makes a cool face. He makes a cool bad butt face. And I don't know why I'm getting this in my mind right now, just at this moment, but like, I don't know. Now I imagine him saying in that part, like, it's time to kick butt and chew bubble gum. An animal out of gum. I don't know why. I'm sorry if any of these moments I'm making in the video right now are cringy and cheesy, but hey, deal with it. The best I can do, and when it comes to those. Oh yeah, meanwhile, Team Godzilla, they're like, oh shoot, Mechagodzilla's going rogue and he's gonna kill Godzilla, and we have to disable the mech, and then unfortunately they fail at the password, does a password lock, and they can't stop Mechagodzilla. But then Kong comes in to save the day, saves Godzilla, and then they both fight Mechagodzilla in this cool team up state. Yes, I know it's a Batman v Superman thing, but it did it cool. In my opinion, it did it cool. It did it right. And then they slam Mechagodzilla, grab him by his arms, and slam him into a building. And then Kong does this Kung Fu Matrix move where he comes on top of Mechagodzilla, kicks him in the face. You got Mechagodzilla boxing out Godzilla more. He shoots missiles in his face for the second time in the fight. He throws Kong, and then Kong gets the axe, starts going like he goes rogue for a little bit, beast mode, keeps hitting Mechagodzilla with the axe. It's doing nothing but kind of scraping him. Then he trips him, he falls, and he's trying to kill him, but then Mechagodzilla swats him with his tail, and then Kong grabs him, Mechagodzilla kicks him, and then Kong grabs his tail from stabbing Kong, but then it turns into a drill, and Mechagodzilla was trying to do this, and he kneed Godzilla in the stomach at one point, and trying to do that to Godzilla at one point, but then Kong saved him. Now he's trying to do it to Kong now, and they're like, oh no, what do we do? Kong's gonna get killed, and then all of a sudden Madison Russell's friend gets the idea. One of the most random things in movie history, the way the villain gets defeated, is he pours a drink on the thing and then it disables Mechagodzilla. It stops him, and then Godzilla, it gives enough time Godzilla to wake back up from his knockout, and then he gives Kong he gives Kong's axe the power of the atomic breath by shooting into it. A very intelligent, cool, bad but thing. Um, I believe. Yeah, then Kong goes beast mode, and then he chops off Mechagodzilla's limbs and tail. He slashes him in the chest, knocks him down, and then he does like a final slash, strong slash, and then he goes Predator Sub-Zero style, rips off his head and holds it up like it's a trophy, and roars and beats his chest. Like, probably I would rank it as Kong's best finishing move next to the Peter Jackson finishing move. Then Godzilla kind of have this truce, I believe. They're all beaten up, they're all tired, but they're ready to go for round 3 if it was necessary, and if they were going to do that. But then Kong thought it was a smarter choice to put down the axe, and then they have a sort of a truce, and they kind of like, all right, let's split our paths. All right, we're not friends, but we're just gonna split our paths for the best. And then Team Kong and Team Godzilla come together, but they don't interact, and that's it. All I need is the air to love you song. I believe that song plays, and then Kong has a happy ending. Kong is in Hollow Earth. He's with his loved ones. He's with Gia again, and he does like a victory roar. He does a victory roar thing, and then the movie ends. It cuts to the credits, and there's this cool thing at the end of the credits where you hear Godzilla's like little wail in the background, like which is cool. All right, that's probably I explained the story in full to you. So yeah, the positives. I want to get this out of the way quickly. Basically, spoiler. Basically, the same ways what made King of the Monsters an awesome movie. You know, but I would say at some points slightly better. It does things a bit better at points where even though it did not have a bunch of world building, it did not have time to like get to the to explain points here and there. Hey, on the bright side, it did give us what we want. The monster action, cut straight to the fights, to the action. It's a fun, more of the roller coaster rides. And there is a scene in the Hong Kong fight scene between Godzilla and Kong where it literally looks like a OCP Communications. Of course, I agree with the guy. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to him and his friend Rambora for life. Um, like he says, it looks like something out of a Universal Studios ride, and it does. It does. They're avoiding Godzilla in this anti-gravity vehicle and in the heave, and then they almost get eaten by Kong, and then they dodged it, but then they almost get burned by Godzilla's atomic breath, and it's just insane. It is it's like I would say just as crazy as Godzilla King of the Monsters. Not as not as crazy as Final Wars, but it's up there. It is definitely up there. Um, it's a long way up there. What else? You get cool fight scenes. The CGI and the lighting is better in this movie. The colors are just as good. In my opinion, I'll say not as breathtaking as King of the Monsters, but still, it still has some breathtaking moments in here. They try to they respect King Kong and Godzilla, in my opinion, in this movie. And the way how it's cool to see these two fight again and even team up in the same movie. It's cool to see Mechagodzilla again. Um, Especially we get to see Kong have a little fight with Mechagodzilla. We get to see that, and we get to see Godzilla fighting Mechagoji again. But we get to see them both team up against him, which, by the way, is also the soul of King Ghidorah, like I said earlier, because they use King Ghidorah's skull to work Mechagodzilla. One of the things. What really causes it to set off was due to the energy from the Hollow Earth. So, yep, and not as good soundtrack as King of the Monsters, but it is the second best soundtrack in the MonsterVerse. Really great. I really like a lot of parts in the soundtrack. It was epic. Great soundtrack. Liked it. Really liked it. What else? Oh yeah, they show Kong's more emotional. He has character. They show a bit more character to Godzilla, I believe. Well, just as much character as King of the Monsters. Both monsters are bad blood in this movie. In my opinion, they respect both their series, and yeah, a lot of positives from King of the Monsters, in my opinion, carry over onto this movie, only it's a bit better. But it did lack, I think King of the Monsters did good, but it still makes up for that, and they still did it decently. They still did it goodly. Um, it respects both characters as characters, King Kong and Godzilla. In my opinion, it did Mechagodzilla good. The fight scenes were great. Slightly better than King of the Monsters, in my opinion. What else? Final thing. Alright, comparing it to other versus movies. Alright? Hold on. Alright, one more thing. It's King Kong fighting Godzilla. Obviously, the 1962 movie is a classic, but in my opinion, it's classic, it's great. 8 out of 10, I would give it, even though it's been a long time since I've seen it. Obviously, it can't hold a candle to this. To me, in my opinion at least. No offense to people who like that movie better than this one. But, yeah. What else? It's King Kong fighting Godzilla again. That's a dang reality. That's a reality again. King Kong fighting Godzilla. That's a reality again. That is a reality again. Um, the thing is here, and if the fight is good, it's not a bunch of teasing. Despite that one cutaway, it was not that bad. At least it was important. Great action in the fight scenes. It's a fun monster movie. It's a good versus movie. Comparing, last thing. Oh yeah, these are two childhood characters going at it of mine. Freddy vs. Jason, Alien vs. Predator. All those guys are not childhood characters. Batman v Superman. Surprisingly, I grew up with those are not childhood characters of mine. I grew up with Marvel more. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Those characters were not childhood characters. I do remember them as a kid. But these two are childhood characters. By the way, comparing it to other versus movies, my opinion. Alright, Frankenstein meets the... It's been a long time since I've seen these movies. But from what I can remember, I didn't mind Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I didn't mind that. I don't know my opinion on that movie because I never really had a full experience on watching it, but a lot of people disliked it from what I heard. But I kind of don't mind that movie. I don't really mind that movie at all. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman looks like a great classic. Original King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962, classic, but this one in my opinion is better. Freddy vs. Jason, from what I remembered, I think it was a great versus movie. Despite the flaws and goof ups they made, I think it was a fun versus movie. Alien vs. Predator, I do not care. I do not care. I don't know. I do not give a poop. I didn't mind that movie. I didn't dislike it. I actually liked it. Probably because I'm not a hardcore Alien vs. Predator fan, but we all have our different opinions, people. You don't need to bring your torches and pitchforks in the comment section below, right? This is King Kong vs. Godzilla. So my opinion on this, the best versus movie. My opinion, at least. My favorite versus movie. So yeah, 1 hour and 35 seconds long into this review. So yeah, there's nothing else I can say. It's a great versus movie. I liked it. I really liked it. My favorite movie out of the MonsterVerse. And and both King Kong and Godzilla were cool in it. Passable characters. Liked Gia in the movie. I didn't mind Bernie. I thought he was funny, in my opinion. Don't care what people say. Yeah, this is a good King Kong and Godzilla movie. My favorite versus movie. My favorite King Kong and Godzilla movie. At least at the moment, because I didn't really watch the other ones yet. But I would say this still would be my favorite, obviously. I like the cool thing on the disc art there. It's cool. Godzilla's footprint on the DVD, Kong's footprint on the Blu-ray. So yeah, 1 hour long video. Alright, so I gotta hurry this up because my space probably will run out. So yeah, that's it. So that's it for the video. I give this 9 out of 10. I know it's the same rating as King of the Monsters, but if I had to choose one, this one is slightly better. A little tiny teensy wincy bit better. So yeah, that's Godzilla vs. Kong. So I did not know what other reviews will come up, but I'll think about it and I'll get to those. So yeah. So let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of this movie? Did you like it? Disliked it? Was your thoughts on this movie? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Different opinions. So yeah, just no hate comments. Remember, my opinion. So yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong. Gets a 9 out of 10. GVK, Godzilla vs. Kong. So, of course, if you like the video, we'll go ahead and like it. And if you like the content I do on my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And of course, good old McFlurry says, have a good afternoon, good morning, good night, what time you're watching this dang video. And have a good day, and see you in the next video, and peace out.